moving on to Module 4, Runway Incursions of our Aviation English series for pilots. Yes, runway incursions, it's a very, very important subject for pilots all around the world, from cadets, ab initio, or to commercial and executive pilots. And today, we're going to learn about all the different vocabulary that is needed to know about runway incursions, all the procedures, and how to answer questions about runway incursions. Remember, it's just a little glimpse into our Aviation English series. You can go onto the iCal Aviation platform and we have a lot more. So good luck and see you later.
Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. It depends or good evening. It depends which part of the world you're in. Today, our subject topic is going to be runway incursions. Runway incursions is a major topic for safety education for airlines around the world. It's also something that still can occur almost on a daily basis around the world. We're going to look at runway incursions today from two different angles. From the angle of the ICAO exam, in terms of what type of information do you need to know to present answers in the exam. On the other side, we're also going to look from an airline perspective, from the perspective of operational safety. First of all, as we're speaking to you today from a Spanish-speaking country in Colombia, let me share with you in Spanish and put it into English one of the problems that we have. As you see on the right here in purple from ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization, they have produced a manual on the prevention of runway incursions that is more or less implemented at all airports, ICAO airports around the world. The biggest problem for us on a daily basis are communication errors, not understanding communication, not following the communication. This can happen, as you see in the first point over here, in what we call in Europe, a level bust. That means is when the controller gives you a designated altitude and you fail to comply with that altitude. That is called a level bust. Also, the major problem that we have, and our focus today is with international airports around the world, is with runway incursions. The problem for aeronautical authorities is, why are these still occurring, and why are runway incursions actually increasing, and how can we reduce runway incursions? Those are specific questions that are asked in the ICAO exams, and we will actually answer those questions today here in our video online class. Of course, one thing that we need to keep in mind as active pilots is that the major cause of runway incursions is loss of situational awareness, otherwise commonly grouped under the area of human factors. So why are you here? Runway incursions occur almost daily, and in over 40% of these incursions, they involve commercial aircraft. Reducing or mitigating this incursion risk is the highest priority today for all aeronautical authorities around the world. If we look at this incident that occurred in Barcelona in 2014, you will see here that a SkyTeam Airbus 330 is entering an active runway, and the aircraft is doing, the other aircraft flying over the top is doing a missed approach go around, because this aircraft is actually on the active runway. Why did the aircraft enter an active runway? Where was the aircraft's permission? Let's take a look exactly at what went wrong. It's good to stop at this point and say what actually happened. Obviously, What should have happened was that the aircraft should have stopped at the hold short. Also, normal procedure before entering an active runway is for both the captain and the first officer to look out of the window, left and right, and see if there's any aircraft actually on the approach or on the runway. This obviously didn't occur in this case. Oh Dios is exactly correct. In another incident over here, what about a general aviation or a light aircraft making a mistake and landing on a taxiway? This is possible. This happened in Orange County Airport in the United States, in California. In this particular incident, you might recognize that the perpetrator was the actor Harrison Ford, otherwise famous for his roles in Star Wars Raiders of the Lost Ark. Obviously, the FAA is not going to be amused.
Shall we Tower, James Causey.
Yeah, hi, it's Husky 89er Hotel uniform and the schmuck that landed on the taxi.
Hi, yeah, James Causey. Just a couple of quick things. One, I
was distracted by the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So,
distracted by the airliner, which was in movement when I turned to the runway, and also the big turbulence from the landing Airbus on the parallel.
Okay.
Runway.
So, can I just get your name and your pilot's license?
My name is Harrison Ford.
Okay.
On my pilot's license, let me get out here. It's in my backpack.
Okay. Take your time. No big deal.
Yep. Oh, it's a big deal for me. Hold on.
And probably a big deal for the FAA, because obviously he created a risk by landing on a taxiway. By the end of this module, what we're going to focus on is your ability to define and describe what is a runway incursion. Name the 3 types of runway incursions. Describe the causes of runway incursions. Provide an opinion as to why runway incursions are increasing. Provide an opinion as to what the aviation industry can do to reduce runway incursions, and also describe some of the technology that's been introduced by aviation authorities to reduce the risk of runway incursions. A particular focus is going to be on your ability to answer general questions, such as what can cause collisions on the ground? Why are runway incursions common? How do runway incursions occur? What are the most common types of runway incursion, and how can we reduce them? When we're in our ICAO exams, doesn't matter if we're listening to the LPAC, the ELTS, the TEA, AVANT, any other exam that ICAO puts out there, your ability to understand the communication is critical. For example,
Situation 2.
We can see some animals on the runway. You need to go around.
so you're on approach, your controller's saying,
Situation 2.
We can see some animals on the runway. You need to go around.
it's critical that you're able to read back the complete message. What is the problem here? The problem is animals, but the main instruction is what the controller's saying here. You need to go around. Why? We can see some animals on the runway. Another example.
Situation 6.
We can't continue taxiing because there's a piece of rubber on the taxiway.
Situation 6.
We can't continue taxiing because there's a piece of rubber on the taxiway.
So what we have here is a pilot actually saying that he has a problem in continuing taxiing. Why? Understanding the vocabulary. There is a piece of rubber on not the runway, the taxiway. All the information is important, and we have to read it back correctly.
Situation 5.
There's something on the runway. We can't take off.
Pilot reporting he cannot take off. He can't take off. Why? There's something on the runway.
Situation 1.
Hold your position. I repeat, hold your position. There's a vehicle in front of you.
Here we've got the air traffic controller telling us to hold our position, repeating hold our position because there's a vehicle in front of us. Now for the ICAO exams, we need to repeat all the information. However, if I'm a pilot flying on the flight deck and I hear this information, my response would be holding position and my call sign. Holding position, Viva Colombia 354.
Situation 2.
The runway is not clear. Go around immediately.
Again, for the ICAO exams, I would be saying going around immediately because the runway is not clear. If I'm a pilot flying in a commercial airline, I would be saying going around Viva Colombia 354.
Situation 2.
There's rubbish on the taxiway. We can't continue taxiing.
As you may understand, understanding vocabulary is what gets you the correct result or a good result in the ICAO exams. So here, what we have is the pilot saying that he cannot continue taxiing. Why? There's rubbish on the taxiway. Now, instead of using the word rubbish, you could use the word, for example, debris or FOD, but specifically, where is it? It's on the taxiway, it's not on the runway.
Situation 4.
The lights on your assigned runway are not working. Please stand by for a runway change.
So this is ATC advising that there is a problem with the lights on our designated or assigned runway, and that we are to stand by for a runway change. Our response, if we were operational standing by, Viva Colombia 354. However, in the ICAO exam, it would be, I need all the information. ATC is saying that the lights on our designated runway are inoperative, and please stand by for a runway change. The type of vocabulary we're going to be looking at today is on the right-hand side here. You'll notice that in runway incursions, we need to also be able, or prevention of runway incursions, I should say, we need to also be to understand the acronyms. Acronyms will come to us in a NOTAM or maybe in an ATIS that the RILs are not working. Runway intersection lights, the runway entrance lights, REL, the taxiway hold lights, THL. Other words that we've also looked at when we look, for example, in runway excursions are, for example, the word runway safety area, the RSA. When we're looking at the prevention of runway incursions, also there are acronyms that we might use. For example, the word runway incursion alerting system. Other words that we're going to look at in detail today, obviously, weather plays a role in the prevention of runway incursions. Airport layout plays a role in runway incursions, and familiarity with the layout is particularly important. Our problem, though, normally is what we call a pilot deviation, a pilot not following ATC instructions. So we need to understand the word deviation. The pilot is deviating, he's not following ATC instructions. Another critical factor in the prevention of runway incursions, obviously, are good signs and markings, so we know exactly where we are and what any particular problems might be ahead of us by signs that alert us to those problems, where we are, what the problem is. We'll also be looking at operational error and heads down procedures today. Let's start off first of all by looking at the causes of major runway incursions and OEs. OE, operational error. The critical thing is, folks, loss of situational awareness. Then misunderstanding the ATC and pilot communications. This is not just in foreign pilots flying into international airports such as Miami, but can also be with native pilots in the United States, misunderstanding and not following the pilot communications. Also, possibly a lapse in short-term memory. Lapse means you forget something, you didn't write it down. And the classic, deviation, not following your company's SOPs. All of this boils down to the pilot and human error.